clear of the closing doors, please.
All right, here we go. We are not live on Subway Sports Talk. My name is Peter Kennedy, and I am your host. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning into SST on Apple Podcasts app, Spotify, and on YouTube. And right now, we're talking about Aaron Judge because he's awesome. But let me tell you this. We ain't talking about him enough. It's simply not enough when it comes to Aaron freaking Judge. It's unreal. Also, the New York Mets have figured something out. Let me tell you this. This team has been playing well all year. This team has been at the top of the NL East for the most part of this entire year. But right here, right now, feels like they are figuring something out as a team. And it obviously has to do with the one person that you and I are both thinking of. But of course, don't forget to follow Subway Sports Talk on social media at Subway Sports Talk, specifically on TikTok. I'm posting up there quite a bit, having a lot of fun, getting people active in the comments and talking sports with you guys. Always on YouTube as well. You can look us up at Subway Sports Talk. Subscribe, rate, review on your podcast app. We appreciate you for all that, always, because that's what we do here. We talk sports, try to give you some good content. And when you come back and give us that same energy, it makes it even more fun, which is the epitome of what New York baseball is in 2025. And that brings me back to our guy, Aaron freaking Judge. Okay? I said this before. I'll say it one more time for you people in the back. We're talking about Judge, right? We are. When he hits a home run, we share it. We say, wow, look at that bomb. That went really far. We say, oh my God, this guy, best hitter. Whatever we're doing when it comes to what Aaron Judge has accomplished so far in 2025, I'm telling you, it's not enough. Because when you look at what this guy has truly accomplished this year, it doesn't even make sense. It's not even reality. This is the type of season that if you were now a 90 overall in your MLB, the show, Road to the Show character, you'd still be happy. Because if you play Road to the Show and you're a pretty good ball player, right? You know your way around the sticks. You're hitting nukes, right? You're hitting bombs. You're batting almost 400, if not over. You're stealing bags. You're the best fielder. You're doing it all, right? We all know if you played the show, that's how it goes. Once your player gets pretty good, hell, even before your player's pretty good, you're putting up numbers. Aaron Judge is putting up those numbers. So right now, this game that just ended against Kansas City, the stats haven't updated fully just yet. But when you go on Baseball Reference and you look through the stats and you see the bold numbers, that means they're leading the league, and that means the American or National League in those numbers, right? When it's bold and italicized, it means they're leading the MLB. And you looked up and down Aaron Judge's numbers, and you see a hell of a lot of bold and italics, man. We're talking about a 396 batting average, a 491 on base percentage, 776 slugging, which is larger than most people's OPSs, right? And then we get to his OPS, and you see 1276. 1276 on the OPS. Yeah, maybe some of those numbers mean a lot to you. Maybe some of them you don't really have the point of reference and you don't know what they mean. Let me give you some stats for you guys to put this into perspective. Barry Bonds. You heard of him? He's been pretty good in his career, huh? Steroids or not, especially when he was on that juice. He was hitting bombs, 73 of them in 2001. Wasn't that incredible? He was getting walked left and right. It was insane. He had a year where he had an on-base percentage over 500. That's ridiculous. They also intentionally walked him more than like most teams combined for the entire season. Just one guy, right? And now that seems larger than life. That feels like old history. That doesn't feel like even reality to be possible anymore. And no, Aaron Judge is not being intentionally walked at the rate that Barry Bonds was being intentionally walked in 01, 02, 03 range. However, Barry Bonds batted 328 in 2001, the year in which, he won or, surpassed that record and hit 73 home runs. 328 to hit with that type of power and hit that many home runs and maintain a 328 average is nothing short of amazing. It's nothing short of phenomenal. Now think about what our guy Aaron Judge is doing. There are 30 games left before the All-Star break. 30 games left, and he's now at 25 home runs after his home run on Wednesday night against Kansas City. That means he's got 30 more games, and I had to bet, if I were a betting man, 30 home runs is in his sights. Barry Bonds hit the All-Star break with 39 home runs that famous 2001 year where he got to 73. Aaron Judge was well into the 30s last year, 34 at the All-Star break last year. He's on the same damn path. But the key difference, again, that we keep forgetting about is he's batting 396. 396 with an on-base percentage in the 490s. That's ridiculous. Again, let's get statistical and historical for a second. Barry Bonds, when he was getting walked like crazy, just intentional walk after intentional walk, they were afraid to pitch him. He still hit 73 home runs. He batted 328. He had a 515 on base. The following year, he batted 370, only hit 46 home runs. On base, 582. Next year, only hit 45. 45 home runs, batted 341, on base 529. And then the infamous year where he had 230 walks in the season. They were just, we're not pitching to this guy. Still hit 45 home runs, batted 360, on base 600. Okay. So when we get to that 600 mark, that's far beyond, right? 232 walks in a year is ridiculous, right? But again, let's think about who we're talking about. We're talking about Barry Bonds, juiced up. Everyone's scared of him. No one wants a piece. We're looking at OPSs from 2001 up to that 2004 mark where he was walked 230 times. We got 1379, 1381, 1278, and 1422. Those are four of the top 10 or 11 OPSs of all time. Well, right now, Aaron Judge is playing a level of baseball in an era where OPSs just do not reach that number. They just don't. Go through it. Do yourself a favor. Click through basically any year from 1994 through 2012. There's going to be anywhere between 6 and 16 guys who have over a 1,000 OPS. In the past few years, the MLB's been lucky to see 2 or 3 or 4 at most. Aaron Judge is 1.2 right now. The 490 on base is stupid. 396 batting average. What are we talking about here? And I'm doing all this stuff. You're probably sitting there like, yeah, dude, we get it. He's freaking awesome. He's freaking awesome. That's what I'm telling you. For all the freaking out that we're doing as he sits here and leads the MLB in WAR, if you want to go advanced on me, we need to freak out more. We got to prop this guy up. And now I know for a fact that there's somebody sitting out there right now listening to Subway Sports Talk saying, hey, bro, don't care till he does it in the playoffs. Okay. I hear you. I'd like to see him do it in the playoffs too. I'm a Mets fan, mostly so that narrative can stop, even though I definitely sometimes bring it up to Yankee fans to piss them off. But I want to see that narrative stop because he is that special. To do this from the right side of the dish as a right-handed hitter, to do this in this era of baseball where the pitchers are throwing flame like you've never seen before, where pitchers are coming in out of the bullpen consistently touching 98 miles an hour, where the home runs just ain't flying like they were in the early 2000s. And he's doing this? Come on. And again, back to the Barry Bonds example. I'd have to find this exact number for Barry Bonds. But right now, Aaron Judge leads the league, the MLB, in intentional walks with 14. Whoa, 14. 14 intentional walks for Aaron Judge. I got to pull up what Barry Bonds was because I know the 2004 one is absolutely just stupid. But even in the other years before that, it was still ridiculous. So when you hear the 500 on base percentage for Barry Bonds and the 600 on base percentage for Barry Bonds, remember that. Yeah, here we go. 2001, only 35 intentional walks. And then 68, which led the MLB. 61, which led the MLB. And then 120 intentional walks in 2004. And you're for damn sure that the other 112 that he got walked, half of those were probably quote unquote intentional walks, right? Not true intentional, but basically pitched around the dude. So those numbers to me are important here as well, because that inflates the OPS, that inflates the on base percentage when he's getting intentionally walked out the ass. And that's obviously because he was so damn good. So it's not like he didn't deserve it, whatever. But Aaron Judge right now is playing to that level. when you really think about what he's doing, you have to go way, way back to find anybody even remotely similar to what this guy's doing. So last year, for example, Aaron Judge hit 58 home runs. He batted 322. You put those numbers together and you're seeing some special places. That was tied for the 12th most home runs in a single season, which, he was 7th in 2022 or 2022 with 62, batted 311. You go through the rest of these home run, these big bopper seasons, already touched on Barry Bonds. We're talking Mark McGwire, 98, 70, 299 average. Sammy Sosa, 66, 308 average. McGwire, 278. Sosa, 328. Sosa, 288. Roger Maris, 269. Babe Ruth, let's hold him off for a second. Babe Ruth, different story, right? Giancarlo Stanton in 2017 hit 59 home runs, batted 281. Jimmy Fox's 1930s, we're going to push him off to the side. Hank Greenberg, 1930s as well, whatever, 315, 58 home runs. Mark McGwire, 274. A-Rod, 57 home runs, batted 300. Griffey, 56, 304, 284. You get the picture here? You want to find these numbers that Aaron Judge is putting up right now with a 390? We're talking Babe Ruth in the 20s, Jimmy Fox, Hack Wilson, and Hank Greenberg in the 30s. No one else is remotely close. Remotely. Again, the highest batting average of any of the top 30 single-season home run seasons. I'll even go down further, all the way down to 50 or more home runs in a single season, which is the top 50 players, ironically. The highest batting average amongst any of the top 50 single home run seasons is Babe Ruth, 376. And again, we're talking about 1920, people. I ain't going to pull the plumber's card out on you because that's not what I'm trying to do here. But that's a different beast. It's a different ballgame. It's 100 years ago. 100 years ago, okay? So if you want to take that, go ahead. What this guy's doing right now is ridiculous. He hits to all fields. He hits for contact. He obviously hits for power. He's leading the league in hits. He's got 17 doubles. He's got 2 triples, 24 home runs. Wow. So I say all this to be very frank and very simple. If you think you're appreciating Aaron Judge right now, appreciate more. Appreciate harder. Be obnoxious. It just doesn't make any sense. And then you see a home run that he hits on Tuesday night against Kansas City. And I'm not sure the ball's come down yet. So on top of the statisticals, the eye test is just off the charts. You see this guy do something and you go, is this real? This is legitimately a created player in MLB The Show. Legitimately. That's how it looks when I get going with PD Pumpkins. Shout out to my Road to the Show player, PD Pumpkins. I just can't. And listen, I already mentioned it, and this will be the last time I do. Go ahead and say, well, I waited for him to do it in the playoffs. Say it. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. You can be miserable this year. I'm going to have fun and watch the greatest hitter that I've seen basically in my entire life, and probably most people alive's entire lives. I'm going to watch him hit and have a great time doing it. Appreciate him more. He deserves it. Now, on the rest of the Yankees front, quickly before I touch on the Mets here, I do want us to talk about, this team at large, because I came into this season thinking about the New York Yankees quite nervously, I should say, about the offense, not understanding fully how this offense was all going to work together. And without Juan Soto, you didn't know where the production was going to come from consistently, right? I thought it had to be really a strength in numbers atmosphere from this team. And to this point, you have to be incredibly happy with that case. Because if you look through the stats for the entirety of the season for the New York Yankees, you're going to see some numbers and go, I don't know what I'm supposed to be so happy about here, right? Outside of Paul Goldschmidt, it's a lot of 240s in the batting average column for the New York Yankees. It's a lot of 109, 111, 114 in the OPS plus conversation. To that, I want you to remember last year. Last year, the Yankees offense was so specifically pushed through by two guys. It was Juan Soto with an OPS around 1,000 and Aaron Judge with an OPS above 1,000. You look at the OPS pluses, obviously Judge's and Soto's is 200 and 180 or whatever it may be. And you look through the rest, it's like, all right, Giancarlo Stanton, when he's healthy, he's a plus hitter according to league average and OPS plus. He's like a 140-ish range. And then you look down, you're like, oh, man, well, this guy's in the 80s. This guy's in the 90s. This guy's not doing it. This offense stinks. What's this? What's that all about? It seems kind of good. Why does the offense kind of stink? But that was the case. But now you're seeing with this roster, no other star budding outside of what Goldschmidt has done so far this year from like a consistency standpoint. But you're seeing multiple options get the job done on multiple occasions. And to me, that was always going to be the option post Soto in this lineup, because I didn't have faith in Cody Bellinger to put together 162 of awesome baseball. I didn't have faith in Paul Goldschmidt to be as good as he'd been. I didn't have faith in Jazz Chisholm, who's a player who I love to watch, I should say. I love to watch him. I know the stats don't always back it up. I didn't have faith in him to be a 160 game player and OPS plus a 150. It's just not who he's been in his career. But when you go through it, and you remember opening week, and Volpe's hitting dingers, and Jazz and Wells are hitting dingers, and they're helping push you through. Fast forward, Trent Grisham is the next Juan Soto, obviously everyone's saying, right? He has his moments where he's hitting bombs. All of a sudden, he's up in double digits home runs. Ben Rice gets hot for a few weeks. That's pretty fun. Then all of a sudden, Jazz is out. Bellinger's out. He kind of stinks now. What's going on with him? Now Bellinger's back and hitting the ball really well. Even a DJ LeMahieu sighting since he's returned from the injury earlier in the year. And you start putting this stuff together, and it's like, oh, if Judge is the rock of this offense, and Paul Goldschmidt is being Paul Goldschmidt to this point, which, it's long enough now to feel pretty solid about it all. And then you start getting a little bit of this from Volpe, a little bit of that from Jazz Chisholm, who's been playing well over the last 15 days, a little bit of Trent Grisham when he's hot, a little bit of DJ LeMahieu. And now this is a team, right? Now, I don't have tons of faith in this offense moving forward. Like, I don't think they're going to be without, sans Judge, obviously, because he lifts everything. He is the rising tide on this offense. I don't think we're ever going to sit here with insane confidence with this entire lineup. But you're going to see the collective of this lineup and say, yes, this A makes sense. This B has the ability to pop off. And this C has the depth to allow people to ebb and flow. Where in the past 2-3 years with this lineup, there was no room for ebbs and flows with this roster. There was no room for Judge to have 2 bad weeks. Otherwise, the offense would suck, quite simply. And granted, he hasn't had a bad freaking day, it feels like, so far this year. But when you look through it now, and Volpe's another year in, and Jazz is now back and playing better baseball, and Bellinger is looking like an actual positive outfielder. Well, he's always a positive outfielder, but positive offensive force who's playing a good outfield. It's like, okay, all the stuff that I was so worried about, this Yankees offense, is actually cohesive now and makes sense. And that's not to say that we're going to turn around and in 60 games from now, as we're winding down and looking at playoff seeding, that you're going to see, 4 different guys batting 290 plus on this team. I don't think that's the case. But the consistency of 5-6 different guys batting 250, 260 is still a great win for this roster, especially when you have a guy who is the GOAT of our generation as a hitter right now, in Aaron Judge. And for all the nerves I had about the offense, like that's coming through now, and that's real. And I think it's going to last throughout the season. And again, it will not be one guy. You're not going to turn around and say, Ben Rice really did it He's a perennial all-star now. He's batting 310. He's going to hit 39 bombs a year. That's not what it's going to be. It's going to be Volpe had a great week this week. Man, Wells got hot. Those 3 home runs this week were huge for the Yankees. And that's okay, because that's an upgrade from where we thought they could be. And clearly, sitting atop the American League East, it's working for him right now. Now, it's not easy feasting in the AL East. The Red Sox are playing better ball. They're only 2 games under 500. The Rays and the Blue Jays are above 500. Blue Jays, keeping pretty good pace with the Yankees there. So it's not going to be easy, but this team is cohesive and makes sense. And obviously, if we talk pitching, Max Fried being who he's been this year just, makes that go even better. Now on the Mets front, it's quite fun for me to sit here as somebody who defended Juan Soto throughout the first couple months of the season when he batted .230, but the on-base was still .380. And he wasn't hitting a ton of home runs, and he wasn't doing all the things we loved so much watching him hit when he was on the Yankees and in Washington and all that. But I sat here confident, quiet, patient, saying, I know it's coming, and I know what we should expect from this dude, and it's on its way. So now, over the last 13 games, we're looking at Juan Soto with these type of numbers. Batting .356, on-base percentage of .517, slugging .756, and an OPS of .1273. Now, that's the Juan Soto that we're talking about. Now, Juan Soto, even for all his talent, is not Aaron Judge. So is he going to bat .396? I don't think so. I don't think he is. I don't think anybody is. But this dude has been hitting the ball incredibly hard for months now. He has been, advanced analytically speaking, a hitter that should have been getting a lot more hits and just wasn't. And now they're starting to fall. Now the home runs are getting out of the park. Now the doubles are landing in. Now the walks that he's done, that he's drawn consistently all year long, are feeling more worthwhile because when he's not walking, he's driving the baseball for hits and home runs. In the last 13 games, 5 home runs. And this is, I'm assuming this updated from the game Wednesday night. It might not. It might be 6 home runs by now. But that's more to say about Juan Soto, but even more to talk about this entire roster. And when this lineup was supposed to be a great strength for this team, throughout the first portion of the season, we weren't seeing that, right? This pitching has been the strength. You can very easily make the argument the Mets have had the best pitching staff in all of baseball to this point. I mean, their ERA is the best. Basically everything besides the length of their starters has been top 5 in baseball. Their bullpen's been incredible. Their starting rotation has gotten the job done time and time again. We just got a 9-inning, so a complete game shutout from David Peterson. This rotation has carried, and Pete Alonso and Lindor have carried. But similarly to the Yankees, and even more so to the Yankees, in my opinion right now, this offense is really starting to click. You are starting to see real pressure on other teams from this offense. And it starts very simply. When you looked at this lineup from day one, you said, opposing pitchers are facing Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso in the top 3, now top 4, because they juggle some things around every game. Every single game. They also are guys who don't miss games. So now that Soto has gotten to the back of his baseball card, you are seeing the fruits of that lineup in front of your eyes. You are seeing Brandon Nimmo in the 2-hole look better. When Marte's in there, he's been better. Over his last 9 games, he's batting .280 with a .917 OPS and a couple home runs. You are seeing Pete Alonso continue to drive the baseball so well. It feels like he gets an RBI double almost every game. He has 6 home runs in the last 13 games as well. His OPS is a 1.2 over the last 15 or 13 games as well. So this lineup, which was supposed to be a strength, was struggling, has dealt with injuries, has dealt with guys going up and down, has dealt with guys in and out of the lineup. And yet, now, 60 games into this season, you are truly starting to see what we always expected this lineup can do. You are starting to fully understand that this lineup makes a lot of sense. Because it's very easy in the game of baseball to see something in one moment and go, well, that's the story, right? They couldn't hit today. They can't hit. This lineup sucks. That's how we felt so frequently in that first half of the season, or the first half of the first half, I should say. But now, even in the aggregate already, you start looking up and down, and you see the Pete Alonso numbers and see him leading the league in RBIs and batting 300, 390 on base percentage, OPS of 980, OPS plus 180. Like, again, remember Judge's numbers, man? That's what I'm saying. Pete Alonso's having an incredible year, and it's like not even close to what Judge is doing. Besides the point, you keep going down. Lindor, 140 OPS plus. He's batting 280 with 14 home runs, 11 doubles. Brandon Nimmo, he's gotten his numbers up. He was putrid to start this season. He's now in a positive OPS plus. Starling Marte's positive OPS plus. Jeff McNeil, shout out Jeff, 154 OPS plus, batting 266, driving the baseball. Brett Beatty has gotten up to 7 home runs in under 50 games. He's driving the ball. Like, all these things are coming together, and this lineup is making sense. And you got to remember, Jesse Winker has not been right. Jose Siri has been out after the first, 2 weeks of the season. Ronnie Mauricio just joined the bunch. His numbers do not look pretty yet, but you're seeing some good signs out of him. This lineup was supposed to be a strength, and it's finally acting like one. It's finally acting like one. And to me, when you look at a team like the New York Mets, who are, again, 44-24, they're basically tied with the best record in baseball, the Detroit Tigers right now. And you see them just starting to put it together on offense? Are you kidding me? Now, of course, with that shoe dropping, the other shoe you think might drop. The pitching's been insane. The pitching's been top tier, probably the best in baseball. Is there a chance that comes down to earth? Absolutely. Absolutely. But when that starts falling, you now have a new confidence in the offense, a new confidence in Brandon Nimmo and Jeff McNeil and even Starling Marte, who are all playing their best baseball of the season so far. And of course, this offense being led by Juan Soto now has a whole new danger to them. And this idea of moving Juan Soto out of the 2-hole, the one thing that I have liked from it, I feel like it's helped whoever you put in that 2-hole tremendously. It's like, all right, we better give this guy something, because we don't want to see Nimmo on and then have to pitch to Soto with his eye. And then with what Pete's doing, you can't really just bank on pitching around Soto. And it's been really this domino effect in a positive manner for this offense. So it's helping the 2-hole. Has it hurt Lindor a little bit? I think maybe just a slight smidge it's hurt Lindor, but not enough to really affect him. Again, over the last 12, 13 games for him since he's gotten Soto into the 3-hole, Lindor's still batting over 300. Lindor still has 4 home runs and OPSing 970. So he's fine. But most importantly, Marte and Nimmo, who have been in that 2-hole the most, have been playing great baseball. And that's adding a whole new dynamic to this team. So, of course, the pitching, you have to keep an eye on it. But right now, there's no signs of them slowing down. Why should we sit here and expect David Peterson to stop being good? He's been good for basically a full season plus now with how good he was last year at the second half. I mean, Kodai Senga's rocking a 1.59 ERA at this point in time. And yeah, of course, point to his strikeouts. They're down. I'm okay with that. Point to him. I don't care. He's getting people out. He's not going super deep in games just yet, but he is getting people out. He is keeping people in games, or keeping the Mets in games every single time. Griffin Canning, Clay Holmes, Tyler McGill. The worst starting pitching ERA on this team is a 3.76. And now again, to expect this to last at this level is probably a little bit asking too much, right? Somebody's going to have some blow up starts at some point. Somebody's going to. It's just baseball. Somebody might get hurt. That's possible too. But to look at the entirety of this roster and just to believe that the entire pitching staff's going to go to shit, you can miss me with that. I don't believe that's going to happen. They've been too good for too long. And at some point, I'll use a basketball analogy. You make enough shots throughout a season, you're a good shooter. Right now, the Mets pitching staff is getting so many outs. They're good pitchers. It's that simple. It's that simple. And Clay Holmes, already over 70 innings. Clay Holmes, bolstering a 2.95 ERA. He's here. He's a starting pitcher, man. He's got the juice. And that's all to say with probably their most, quote-unquote, relied upon pitcher going into the season, not even throwing yet, Sean Manaea. So they got help coming back. And I have faith in this team. So right now, when it comes to New York freaking baseball, I'm feeling glorious. I got to say. I'm feeling glorious. There's always stuff to nitpick. There's always stuff to say, oh, that's not going to last. That's not going to this. That's not going to that. What I know right now is that the best player on the planet plays for the New York Yankees. And I'm enjoying watching him play basketball. Basketball, geez. I got the Thunder Pacers on in the background. I'm enjoying Aaron Judge watching play baseball. I also know that the Yankees lineup is coming together in a better fashion than I expected it to, frankly. And I'm pleasantly surprised with how much they're able to pick each other up when one guy's playing well, the other guy isn't, and vice versa. And on the Mets front, all this talk about the hitting as a strength was kind of hurting our feelings for the first 45 games of this season. It ain't hurting my feelings anymore. Never really was, frankly. I wasn't that worried. But now we're seeing the fruits of the labor. We're seeing the fruits of this roster and this idea that the Mets can get to an NL East lead without the offense clicking, and now they're clicking. Watch out. New York baseball is here and here to stay. That's all I got for now. Subway Sports Talk, Pete Kennedy. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Solo podcast for me today, this week. Been a crazy week, man, for the last few weeks of work, just like work events and all these sort of things that have thrown off the podcasting schedule quite a bit. I'm looking forward to getting a good rhythm throughout the summer and talking to you guys about baseball a ton. Obviously, we were hammering Knicks content over and over again throughout that playoff run. And that'll take a back seat until there's coaching news. And then until we get closer to the draft and the offseason stuff, of course, which is like right around the corner. But then, of course, football and whatnot is not that far away either. But baseball is going to be a heavy hitter for us over the next few weeks. I can't wait to do more baseball talk with you guys. And right now, the Pacers with 27 seconds left, Ben Mathurin, who has 26 points. Jesus Christ. 26 points for Ben Mathurin. About to be 27 if he hits this free throw. Pacers are taking a 2-1 lead, it looks like. Pacers are taking a 2-1 lead. My God. Subway Sports Talk, that's all we got. I feel like I got to wait 23 seconds now because if I said they take a 2-1 lead, cut the podcast, and then it's over, then I'm the dummy. I can't wait. 17 seconds. The Pacers are up 8. The Pacers take a 2-1 lead, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. You know it. You know I'm wrong, and I didn't know yet. So that's all we got. We will talk to you next week. Don't forget to follow on socials. That's Subway Sports Talk. Thank you as always for tuning in. And cheers. Cheers.